We will do shamatha meditation tomorrow, or maybe slight variation of it. We will see. The last class at 9 o'clock, 9 to 10. 10 or maybe another 5 minutes. Then you can go and have your cup of tea quickly. We assemble at 10:30. We have Mandara at 11:45. So by at least 11:35, if we conclude the Guru Dakshina program, that will be nice. Okay? So please plan as per that way. Even if we miss Mandara, nothing is going to stop. Mandara will continue. But we may not want to miss, that's why I said like that. What is the prayashchitta? The atonement karma. We don't discuss that here because in Gita, the question of performing a prohibited action doesn't arise. Gita is too far advanced to discuss prohibited actions, if they are performed, how to atone for it. All that is not discussed. They are discussed in Dharma Shastras. Here they talk of prayashchitta. So when one finds that he has committed a wrong action, knowingly or unknowingly, whatever, they will atone for it. Atonement karma will be there, prayashchitta. Like suppose you have eaten something which you should not eat. The atonement karma could be keep fast for 3 days, something like that. That will take care of that. That way there is a huge section in Smrutis where this prayashchitta is mandated. To be done when one goes to foreign country from India, that is unnecessary. What happened is, in one of the Kumbh Melas in the north, one Mahatma or a few Mahatmas raised the issue of many educated, scholarly Mahatmas migrating to outside India. In those days, the cultural ethos of India has expanded both east and west. Up to Gandhara, Afghanistan, Hinduism was expanded. And on this side, Burma is Brahmadesha. Cambodia Desha is Cambodia. If you go to Thailand, it is all Hindu. Vietnam is all Hindu. And therefore, up to China also. Therefore, all these scholars were going by ship to all these places. Then they felt that there is a brain drain issue. And therefore, they passed a resolution for some time. We will not allow anybody to go by ship to other countries. So how to stop? East, west, south, everywhere, the west, east, north, south, east, west. So north there is no ship, but in all the other directions. Therefore they passed the resolution, don't cross ocean, because that is how they were going in those days. And therefore they passed the resolution. That stuck. Later the population has increased. Hinduism has shrunk because of Islam and all that. Nobody changed this rule. Just like our reservation policy. When Ambedkar has introduced it, it was brought in for 10 years. But now we have finished 75 years. Instead of reducing it, they are increasing it. So like that it happened. So that rule is not a valid rule anymore. But the people are believers, customs. They are afraid of breaking the custom. They are not open even to examine the custom. So, one Mahatma told me, you are crossing the ocean. I told, I don't cross the ocean. I'll fly. Therefore, no prayashchitta is required. All the Peethadhipatis, they don't go because they are not supposed to go. So, Kanchi Kamakoti Peethadhipati, Jayendra Saraswati, he wanted to go to China because China government has invited him, which is an honor, When the government invites you, it's an honor. And so he wanted to go, but there was a revolt kind of thing within the ashram, within the compound, within the matha, the matha politics, Therefore he did not go. It was a loss to the country. Once one Swami from Udupi Pitha, he was hesitating to go. And he asked Puja Swamiji's advice. Puja Swamiji said, you go, you come with me. And then he went. And the Udupi people dismissed him, that he cannot worship God anymore, because he crossed ocean. He did not cross ocean. He They dismissed him. They put somebody else in his place. And then he revolted, something happened. Somehow he has prevailed. In Udupi, he prevailed. They wanted to dismiss him, but he went and burgeoned. Means he went to just gate crashed. And something like that happened. It came in papers also. Now it is all. These people, they are followers. They do not lead the society. They are supposed to lead the society. They don't lead the society. The society moves forward and they will be coming from behind. They will forget about that rule after some time. They take some time to adjust. Then they will forget. By the way, the mathas, they maintain their temples, etc. outside the country, in America, etc. They maintain their temples. They send people. They send scholars, Ritviks, etc. there. They do yajnas there in America. And they send Ritviks with their consent and encouragement only it happens. So if it is papam, they should get 1/4 the share of the papa. Because karta karayita chaiva prerakaschanumodakaha chatvaraha, like that there is a verse. So they get 1/4 the share of the papa and also of the punya. All no thinking, a lot of hypocrisy. How can we stay humble in this path? Humble, you don't try to be humble. You don't try. It is not a practice or any such thing. Humble, you are spontaneously humble. If you try to be humble, that comes under hypocrisy, because you don't want to be humble, but you try to be humble. So, when you understand clearly that this ego is false, it's a myth, it is the shadow, it is not my Swarupa. My Swarupa is impersonal real awareness, not this egoic awareness. Once you see that clearly, then there will be no arrogance for you. Also, when you know that these things happen, if any accomplishment is there, it happens. You don't do it. Like knowledge, you don't plan. Knowledge happens. Knowledge is not the result of an effort. Knowledge happens. When you open the eyes, you see things. It happens. Seeing happens. You don't see. Hearing happens. Once some of these ideas, some of these truths you understand quite well, you will become humble spontaneously. And also people should, I know very well, I know better than others. Both are wrong, I know better than others means you may know better than a few others in certain topics. Like I know a little more Sanskrit than some other people. But when it comes to computers, I am illiterate. And when it comes to some other topic, like some anatomy, etc., I am illiterate. Illiterate means zero. Therefore, you know a few things, by all means true, but that knowing happened, you don't know, you don't make it happen, it happens. The parents teach, the teachers teach, an entire village teaches, life teaches, and you are standing on the shoulders of the giants, like we talk of grammar. So Panini blessed us, therefore we are able to talk of the grammars. Similarly, Shankara. Once you know the truth, you will be humble without any effort, spontaneously. People should know that they do not know. That is what they have to know. All knowledge is knowledge of the ignorance only. That you do not know. That you do not know Atman, that is knowledge. That you do not know God. To know God is to deny God. You do not know God. God is the unknown and the unknowable. You know that. That is knowledge. All knowledge is of ignorance only. You know that you don't know. You know that you can't know. That is how you know. That makes you humble, naturally. Yeah. People have some funny ideas. They pick up a little thing here and there. So, empty pot makes more sound than the pot which is full. Like that there is a proverb in Telugu. Yeah, some litmus test that can be thought about, that I am on the right path of Atma Bodhaha. You see, if you are worried, if you are anxious, if you are afraid, that is all opposite to Atma Bodha. If you still want to desire things and you argue on behalf of desiring, we have a right to desire, like that. That only proves that you don't know. So that kind of a litmus test. If you are thinking in a fragmented way, the divisive thinking, it is a giveaway. If you entertain divisive thinking, you are nowhere near the self-realization. It is a giveaway. Giveaway in the sense that you are ignorant. So you have to think in an integrated way, not fragmented way. These are some of the litmus tests for self-realization. Not just attending camp, eating food and back to home with some person, that is true. So that even I am back to home, I can practice on daily basis and make some real changes. So Shravana Manana Nididhyasana, why can't you make real changes in your life? Why? Why the negative? Because you are not earnest enough. You don't have love. You don't have that earnestness. So you have to examine that. You should not condemn yourself. If you condemn yourself, no solution will come. Don't judge yourself, don't condemn. You examine yourself, the movement of mind. How come there is not love for the truth? How? Why so? Why you are given to superstitions instead of loving truth? What could be the reason for that? You have to examine. It is not self-condemnation, but self-examination. You have to investigate. Look at yourself objectively. Then things will happen. Elaborate on living without planning. You see, this is one tricky topic. I was hesitating to mention it, but then once the hesitation was over, it slipped out, and so I have to explain it. Some kind of spontaneity in that. You see, I gave you an example, the boat example. You hold on to that example. So you don't allow the boat, you don't allow the life to be like that boat, which is struggling to move forward. The boat that smoothly sails with the help of the wind is a heavy laden boat. Don't forget that. It is not an empty boat. The idea is you still do your duties, you fulfill your responsibilities, and you respond to the situations enthusiastically. You are not rotting or stagnating in some corner. That is not what I am saying. You are intensely active. Intensely active doesn't mean jumping and shouting. Suppose you are reading, that is activity. You meditate, that is not an easy thing. So, therefore you are intensely active, doing your duties, responding to the situations, etc. But yet, your life is like that boat with a sail, and the wind is doing the job. You just hold to the navigator. Just keep the hand on it. You need not do anything. So the boat will find its way. It will be smoothly going. Don't struggle in life. Don't struggle. Why do you struggle? Because you desire. Why do you desire? Because you compare. The day you stop comparing yourself with others, your bondage has ended, then and there. You don't compare with anybody. You just live your life. And when you don't compare, you think about it, when you don't compare, in all probability you won't even desire, because all desire comes from comparison. You won't even desire when you don't compare, mostly. And when there is no desire, you don't plan. When you don't plan, you neither succeed nor fail. Life becomes a smooth sailing. You don't struggle, no conflict. It's a blessed life. You will discover the truth of life only then. Till then, we don't live a life. We just rot. In the sense that we create a world of ideas and concepts out of our own projection, and we get caught in that bubble which is created by ourselves. And we live inside, we struggle, we cry, and we suffer, and we die. That is how people live and die. So you don't want to do that. It is about adjusting one's attitude to not to be affected by the outcome of our plans. You see, why don't you face life with the freshness of the present moment? Why do you face life with the burden of the memory? Why not face life with the freshness of the present moment? Think about it. Why don't you allow the life to present itself? Let the life present itself before me, I will respond. With love, I will respond. Then whatever comes your way will be divine. Because all plans are egoic, coming from ego, and when there is no planning, whatever comes without your effort is divine. And so you experience divinity very first hand by that. Please note the chronological planning, like purchase of air ticket and all that, or reserve your seat in the lunch hall at 12:30, if there is such a thing. These things, they do not fit into what I am saying. Yeah. See, someone is violently abusing the person. Do I need to act against this adharmic situation, protecting the victim, or I need to sit on the balcony with understanding that Atma cannot be abused? You see, suppose I see somebody is being abused or even physically assaulted. I spontaneously respond to the situation, trying to help them out without taking sides, advise the stronger one to show restraint, and stand between the victim and the bully, so that the bully cannot make the victim suffer anymore, and try to play the job of a good Samaritan. You have to do that. You will do it also. You need not plan it beforehand. You will do it spontaneously. But that doesn't give you a right, or that should not make you to dismiss the vision of Udasina, because both are not connected. After you have done your bit, you don't abuse one and you don't support the other. You don't do that. All are same Atma. But what is the right thing to do, you will do spontaneously. You need not plan for it. And also, it is not the negation of Udasinaha. Udasinaha is in its place. Mahatmas don't go into the society. They stay aloof, in solitude. They don't go into the marketplace all the time. If you go to the marketplace and then into the market and into the malls and then go to the movie theaters and then mix with people, etc., and do some political rally, this and that, then you will face such situations of dharma and adharma. We don't present ourselves in such a situation at all. We live in solitude. We are aloof. We live in alone. We live alone. You just remember, dunya mein kuch nahi hai. There is nothing worthwhile in the world. You move away from it. That is gunatita, udasena. Now, you are living in the world, you have a profession to practice, so you will not be able to do exactly as I said. I am telling that about Swamis. Even Swamis also in modern times, they may have to interact with people. But the kind of hypothetical situation that is described, generally you are not called to address it. You are not called to resolve it. Generally, Saint Francis said, a very interesting statement he made, love and do what you will. That is the quote, exact quote. Therefore, you have love in your heart. And then, what you will do, you need not discuss it and plan it and make a blueprint of it now. You will do the right thing. Provided there is love in your heart, you will do the right thing. Go ahead and do the right thing. Is bhakti synonymous with sthita prajna? Not synonymous. Bhakti is love or devotion. Sthita prajna is the person of steadfast wisdom. So they are not synonymous, but they represent the same person. They are not two different persons. In in Gita, we have Sthita Prajna Lakshana, characters or attributes, Bhakta Lakshana, and then Gunatita Lakshana. They represent the same Jnani. In the context of karma, he is Sthita Prajna. In the context of bhakti, he is Bhakta. In the context of Jnanam, he is Gunatita. Same guy. God suddenly appears in front of me and presenting the eternal deep sleep state. I will say, no, because we cannot equate deep sleep with moksha. Is it the right argument? It sounds fine. Again, hypothetical, There is no eternal deep sleep. That is all story. Some Rip Van Winkle story. So there is no such eternal deep sleep. So whatever, sleep is a state. It is a state. Waking is a state. Dream is a state. A state begins and ends. That is how the states are. Atma is not a state. Therefore, it neither begins nor ends. It is like the earth has day and night, 24 hours duration. The Jupiter has day and night, 1 month duration. 1 month day, 1 month night. That is Jupiter. I am just imagining. I am not giving you exact figures. Something similar to that. Whereas in the sun, no day, no night. Okay? Similarly here also. Therefore, you cannot have an eternal sleep. You can only have a sun shining eternally, that is the Atma. Okay? So God appearing and offering a boon, etc., it is just a way of telling a story or a way of expressing some point, nothing more. God doesn't appear like that. God, you should not make God into a person. You see, you have to discover that you are not a person. Instead of discovering that you are not a person, you are not a person. You see, now the time has, now opportunity came, therefore I am saying, it doesn't matter whether how many questions I answer. You should know that you are not a fixed point. And God is also not a fixed point. These bhaktas should know it. They believe or they imagine, they don't think, that is the problem. They don't think. If you are a fixed point and God is a fixed point, then meeting God is a movement in space and time. But you are not a fixed point. You are not, God is also not a fixed point. Suppose if I am fixed point, I will not be able to see the clock. I am able to see the clock. That means my vision, it encompasses, goes all the way there and encompasses the clock. If I am a fixed point, how can I do that? I am not a fixed point. The body is a fixed point, in the sense that body has a center of gravity. Generally, the fixed point idea is like this. A physical object is supposed to be a fixed point where its gravity is located. That is called center of gravity. A physical object has a center of gravity. The sun has a center of gravity, earth has a center of gravity, because they are physical objects. And therefore any physical object we take it as a fixed point. Though it is not one point, it is a bulky object, but it still, it has its gravity located at one point. In our childhood we used to study and even do experiments how to find the fixed point, the center of gravity, something like that. From that point, if you tie a string, you can hang it perfectly. Something like that we used to do. So you have to find a point from which you tie with a string. That is the center of gravity. Something like that we used to do. Therefore, the physical objects have fixed point, the center of gravity. You are not a physical object. You don't have a fixed point. When you see the sun becomes an object of your knowledge. You are not a fixed point. Neither God is a fixed point. Therefore, you should know, realization of God is not one fixed point going near another fixed point. The whole blessed thing is presented in that model, which is wrong. And so you have to come out of these notions. You have to know that you are not a fixed point. God is not a fixed point. You have to know that you are not a person, which amounts to the same. Therefore, God is also not a person. You should know that. Therefore, God appearing and all that, it is not valid. It is said as a part of a story. There must be some other messaging going on. You have to look at the messaging. How to overcome related to what other people think about me. Yeah, it is difficult to overcome. This is called lokaishana. What other people think about me. It is a huge obsession with people. One who has overcome it is a free human being. There is freedom once you overcome it. Difficult. Putraishana, Vittaishana, Lokaishana. You have to understand it. You should know that people talking bad about you has no meaning. As much as people talking about good about you also has no meaning. Some of it will come in tomorrow's class. Curses in Puranas were prevalent. King Dasharatha is an example. Ramayana is not a Purana. Ramayana is an epic, and more than an epic, it is a kavyam, a poem. More than a poem, it's a love story. More than a love story, it's a tragedy. You should understand the thing for what it is. You should be able to keep away your sentimentality. It doesn't serve any purpose. You miss the whole point. Ramayana is a tragedy, Karuna rasa. And so King Dasharatha, therefore there was a curse in that Dasharatha has to die in the absence of his son the way it happened to those parents. There, the spirit of the curse you have to understand. You see, there are curses in these movies, Vithalacharya movies in Telugu. So, what happened is, Vithalacharya was the director, and one heroine, she was coming late to the shooting. She gives call sheets and doesn't follow punctuality. And sometimes she skips, after having given call sheet, she skips. When call sheet is given, the producer and director spend thousands of rupees and put the set, and all the other actors assemble, and they are all waiting for the heroine, and she doesn't turn up. Then Vithalacharya was fed up with this lady's arrogance, that heroine, and so what he did, he changed the script. A rishi comes and curses the lady to become a mouse. And then a rat. Then he knew a person who has a pet rat. That's why he made it a rat. He asked the pet rat guy, can you bring your rat and make it dance this and that? He said, I can do it for a fee. Therefore the curse is given, you become a rat. And that heroine came to know that the call sheets, without her going, the shooting is going on. And after a week or so she appeared. He said, we don't want your services because we got the rat. Because you have become a rat now. The rishi gave a curse and the rat will take care of everything. So that is the silly curse. Dasharatha's situation is not like that. Dasharatha's situation is, what you sow, you will reap. You have made us, the blind parents, who are entirely dependent upon the young son for livelihood. You made us destitutes by killing our only son. And now we are not going to live any longer. We are going to die soon. We will die while bitterly crying for the young son who dies before us. The same fate will fall on you. That is the curse. Not like you become rat, you become stone, you become serpent. That is not that kind of a silly curse. This is the curse. Therefore, don't do such a thing to others which you don't want to happen to yourself. That is the message. And then this story comes in Ayodhya Kanda. In Ramayana, the main sentiment is rasa, is tragedy, is pity. That is called Karuna, pathos. And the entire Karuna is concentrated in Ayodhya Kanda and Sundara Kanda. Some of it in Kishkindha, some of it in Aranya, but most of it in Ayodhya and Sundara Kanda. And this story, it is described in big elaboration. And Dasharatha himself recounts this story. I have done this to those blind parents. What I have done to them, I am now getting it myself. Like that, with a big sense of guilt and a sense of desperation, he recounts. He becomes blind, by the way. Dasharatha, just before death, he turns blind. So, that is how it happens. Because of intense grief, he loses his eyesight, already very old, and grief plays havoc with the system. He becomes blind and remembers those blind parents and says, they have cursed me, therefore I am dying like this. He tells this story to Kausalya and Sumitra. Kaikeyi is not allowed to enter into his room. She stays outside his room. She doesn't ignore him. She is already repenting. It is the marvelous piece of Karuna Rasa. And this story, where he describes the story, there is so much Karuna in that story itself. And how that curse acts upon Dasharatha, it adds to all the Karuna Rasa. That is the context. Okay? It is itihasa, yeah, epic. Valmiki Ramayana is itihasa. Tulasi has itihasa and also some character of Purana. Some of the South Indian versions are entirely Purana. So Valmiki is the original Ramayana and it is an itihasa. Is mushroom vegetarian? I don't think so. I made an inquiry. They said, see, this is the diversity of life on the earth. The creation is so wonderful. So, mushroom is an intermediate, it is a kind of a intermediate step between plant and animal. So the biologists know better. They have a categorization, plant kingdom, animal kingdom. They are categorized. And when they make a categorization, suddenly they find certain things which do not exactly fit into either. They have certain characters of plants, and they are about to put into the plant kingdom, but it exhibits characters of an animal. You cannot entirely put into an animal kingdom. It is a kind of 50-50 thing it is. And that is the mushroom. And therefore, when there is doubt, we ignore it. We need not eat it, Suppose unexpectedly somebody has served mushroom to you without your knowledge, then you have eaten some of it, and then you realized, then it's okay. You need not now repent about it. You need not do any prayashchitta and all that. You can ignore it. But when there is doubt, why to go for it? Just leave it. You can eat so many other things, And then, in any case, eating a particular choicey food is not important. So you eat something to keep the body going. Already we overeat. And therefore, if we have to drop a few things, no harm in it. There is one more thing like that. The vegetarian eggs. Eggs are vegetarian. Because the argument is a valid argument. The argument is they won't hatch. The eggs won't hatch. Either you consume it or they will get spoiled. They won't hatch. No life will come out of it. That is the argument. But still, we don't go for it. Let people take. In India, 2/3 are non-vegetarians. 2/3 of the population. India is not a vegetarian country. People have a misunderstanding that India is a vegetarian country. They are wrong. 2/3 of India is non-vegetarians. And India is one of the top 5 meat exporting countries. You don't know. Some of you may be knowing also. You live in some dream world. One of the top 5 meat exporting countries, India. So I said meat. Now you let the cat out of the bag. Therefore, don't be sentimental about it. So, and you don't go for some of these non-veg things. Of course, you don't go. I know that. Even these middle things, they don't. There may be this that some doubtful things also. You keep away. Garlic is you can eat, but if you eat, don't take a class. That's why we don't eat garlic. Garlic is good for health. No. What Shastra don't permit? Where you tell me which Shastra doesn't permit? ऐसा होता है. Ayurvedic medicine it is. Only you should be able to withstand the intense smell. And others around you. In fact, this was discussed once. My father was telling me, I quote my father, please don't mind. I do it very genuinely, or with an authority I do it. So he used to tell me, it is not eaten because of its intense smell, no other reason. If you are okay with the intense smell, you can eat. But when you speak, the others around it will be affected. Huh? Onion is what? Who said onion should not be eaten? No, you see, gatanugatiko lokaha is not pramana. So somebody did not said something, therefore I follow it. That is not pramana. He said like that. Then I will think about it. Huh? For brahmacharis he told. Sannyasis, whatever is it. All grahasthas also you find out. There are again, just coming, there are again, raw one you can eat, only cooked one you cannot eat. That is one such rule is there. So this gongora chutney is there, you know. They eat raw onion with it, not cooked onion. That should be all right, because according to that rule, you can eat raw one. Yeah. I'm not sure about it, but the moment he said Shivananda, I backtracked. I would like to look into it further.
I understand that in India, buffalo meat is called beef. No, but I understand all this export.
I said meat, that's why. Unfertilized eggs, this is we covered. You avoid it. You don't go for it. That is the question. Even before I saw the question, I have answered it. We don't go for it. God is omnipresent. Body is a temple. Okay. You see, body is temple. You have to understand it in the right spirit. Body is the temple because God abides inside the body. That way it is temple. But you convert the body into a temple and worship of the body into a religion, that is wrong again. You have to take in the right spirit. Everyone is God, but still temples are required till realization of the self dawns. Is it correct? Yes. So don't point a finger at me. I said yes. Tell everybody. Swamiji said yes. Why does it so happen that as long as we are in the class, all concepts are clear, but when operative in the world outside, slip back into the duality of names and forms and react instead of responding? Because that is what you want to do. You see, why don't you give up the attachment to names and forms? Why don't you do that? See, you love your son. You have done everything for him. You can still do some more help also, some more support also you can give. There is no end for it, because we are here to help others only. You need not have a photograph of the son and look at it every time. That is unnecessary. That doesn't serve any purpose, except creating some unnecessary attachment. Maybe that is not the right example. Think of some other example. So, you don't promote the Namarupa. Stop it. Now you stop it. Like unhealthy eating habits. So, how to do about it? You stop it. When? Now you stop it. Yeah, that's it. How to stop it? You stop it by stopping it. There is no how. For lifting something, there is a method. So you have to hold it firmly and know the weight correctly and apply enough pressure and then move the hand up. But for dropping, there is no method. Dropping means just to drop. There is no method for dropping. Therefore, no how for dropping. Only how for putting up. Therefore, when you want to drop something, there is no method for it. Just to drop it. See the unreal nature of names and forms. See the way we get attached to them wrongly, and then allow them to drop. The problem is you won't allow them to drop. They are ready to be dropped, but you won't allow them to drop. You pursue them. That's why they stay. So you have to think about it. Waking state. Action creates karma phala. Okay. Does dream state create karma phala as mind is involved? No. Because dream state is not real. Waking state is real. In that paradigm. Even waking state is also not real, if you know. But if you take waking state as real, then the karma is real. Because karma is part of the waking state. And when karma is real, karma phala is real. It all depends upon how you understand. Even though physical action is not performed, will thoughts create phala in dream state? No, you are confusing it further. Dream state, whatever you do, it will not have any phala. But within the dream state, you do a wrong thing and become unhappy. Within that there is phala. Like that. You know it. Shastra, Guru has been given a very revered position. Yeah, that is fine. And there is a Kabir Das, Guru Govinda. So like that everybody knows that thing. So the idea is, instead of worshipping a conceptual God, you worship a living Guru. And what is Guru? What is Guru? Guru is not the physical person. You should understand, Guru is not the physical person. Ishvaro Guru Ratmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya. This is what I was saying. Neither you are a fixed point, nor Guru is a fixed point, nor God is a fixed point. They are not fixed points. You take yourself to be a fixed point and make Guru another fixed point and God a third fixed point. And you want to take the support of the Guru fixed point and reach the God fixed point. You want to retain yourself as a fixed point. It is a wrong model. Therefore, take the help from Guru to know the truth. That is how you have to use the Guru. You should not use the Guru for anything else. And if you use Guru for something else, and Guru is also using you for something else, then both become samsaris. This is called mutual exploitation. We should stop it. Yeah. Also, it is also said, Atma is the Sadguru. Ultimately, it is Atma which shows the path or the way. The Guru tells you, be a light unto yourself. You see, you understand this. Guru is teaching and you are listening. Now, as long as you don't understand, Guru is teaching and you are listening. Once you understand it, once you see, in that moment of seeing the truth, there is no Guru, there is no listening, there is only seeing. You should know that. That is called Atma is